How about the suggestive function? Whether they are TI suggestive or F or SE suggestive?
Hmm. I don't know. But I think they have a certain morals established, a certain rules established that cannot be broken, no matter what, and screw logic if it doesn't add up with the morals.
Oh, that's FI.
So is it suggestive?
No, I mean that's someone who values FI, not FE. I think, I'm not sure, like,
Well, a lot
because you're
of
just describing someone, I don't know.
a lot of mm, ENFJs seem to be the type of person that totally hate if something moral is going to be destruct.
What do you mean destruct?
Like overstepping boundaries.
I know. Can you can you correctly type? Can you correctly type like ISTJ, ESTJ, or something like that? Or for example, ISFP, ESFP. Can you correctly type them? Like differentiate them?
30 seconds. Put it on my watch.
Hey,
Type it.
take off
Type
your
it in.
shoes if you're gonna walk around in here, and please put that watch back because it's not yours.
Well, I don't care. I don't even care who this is.
Huh.
I don't care who this is.
Yeah, it's not yours, so you need to put it back.
Nope. I'm not going to put it back.
William,
It's my watch.
it's not.
Yeah,
You
it
need
is.
to take off your shoes because they're
No,
dirty.
I have watch.
I got. So what was it you were saying again?
Can you type ISFJ? Oh, sorry. ISFP, ESFP correctly, or ISTJ, ESTJ correctly?
Yes.
So the different. So it should be like. So why can't you type INFJ, ENFJ? It's the same difference between them. Like
It's
the
not.
difference.
It really is not, because if you shape it, it's harder to quite categorize that thing. I don't know how I will describe it. When you have an ESTJ or ISTJ, it is quite easy
Why?
to distinguish the two of them, because an ESTJ is way more stronger with their TE than SI, and vice versa. And even though that's the same for ENFJ and INFJ, the two of them, in a way, have a certain similarity within the functions, because an INFJ is going to use, I don't know how I will describe it. And
A better way to look at it is to look at all the functions. So a ESFJ compared to a ISFJ, a ESFJ has much stronger FE, and they will actively change the emotional atmosphere. That's the obvious part. But also the ESFJ have demonstrative SE, so they'll tend to be much more active, and even the way they present themselves it's a lot like an SE user, whereas an ISFJ's sensing is more subdued. So you can see a very clear physical difference between an ISFJ and an ESFJ. Just
But
so
it's
by
not.
the way
But
they
it's not so easy with intuition and feeling.
it is actually.
How?
A ENFJ is much more extroverted, intuitive. It's very they'll joke about new concept and ideas, much like an ENFP, but an INFJ would never do that. They don't create random new ideas to share with the group. So
So
ENFJ would be much more the way the ENFJ socializes is much more like
radical.
idea based, and INFJ wouldn't participate in those
Why?
pointless conversations
Because
I
they can
mean, I
ignore.
mean,
because they have
the
ignoring
intuition.
NE.
I mean, it's intuition dominant.
Right, but NI and NE is very different in how it manifests physically.
I know, but when you look at types, the most desired is the opposite.
Are you talking about duality?
Mm-hmm. You kind of want to have the dominant thing to compensate for what you know. So if an I is taking stuff and making it as small and as tiny of an idea as possible, as simple and as effective as possible, when it's an INTJ, and the ENTP wants to make it as wide and as big as possible, then if those two types meet, then it kind of becomes a type of Zen of the types.
Not quite. Not quite, actually.
I mean, one compensates for the other
It's not. They're
because
not. NI and NE are not complementary. They don't actually help each other. They achieve the same outcomes, but through different ways. The NI eliminates possibilities and focuses on one, the truth, what we know to be intuitively true. But the NE essentially focuses on what isn't true to create more possibilities.
yes, but when you want to be closer to the truth, you need more information to compare stuff with. Therefore, you need an E in a way,
It
and
becomes,
vice versa.
when they
Because
work
when
together, it becomes practically it becomes redundant, because both parties will arrive at the same place, so it's like unnecessary information. So that's why it's not complementary. Okay, I probably could have said that in a better way.
yeah, but an I is sort of more involved. And in my opinion, an I is sort of more involved with, as you've said, nailing universe, like going to one truth universe, right?
Yes,
To
it's
university, and the NE is trying to widen that field of possibility. But when NE goes too far, ENTPs or NE dominants are still humans, so they need to have that reduction back to university so they can do the process all over again. And on the other hand, an
But
I dominance
mhm.
wouldn't have anything to introspect on. If they would get to the whole basic idea of everything and will have nothing more to work with, then they would stop and they couldn't do anything.
N-
There would be like
no,
a metaphorical.
that's true, but only in the moment. But if you consider that if any dominant would be using any of his entire life to evaluate as many possibilities and as possible, eventually what the end users achieve is that they create they know what they know by eliminating everything that they've um, they've checked to see. They've eliminated all the possibility because they've tried testing and thinking about all the possibilities. So they actually what any user in the long term does is they reach NI conclusions. They know what is true by testing everything that is not true. What the NI user does is it's sort of the opposite. Yes, they
Ex-
focus on one truth, right? But they do it for so long that they end up knowing what all the other possibilities are.
yeah,
So
but the key thing there is that they work in a sort of yin yang, kind of zen. Because when you start as an ENTP, you have that one set rule, which says that nothing else is possible. Therefore, an E tries to destroy that rule and make as many things as possible, and an I does exactly the opposite. Therefore, one most likely needs the other to like bring the balance upon. But we as people are individuals that need such a balance. Therefore, we need the other person to help us go the other direction. So it's in so it's instinctually the thing we should seek, and therefore, most likely, in my guess, we will seek that thing, that other direction. That's why I think it's the suggestible function is the thing we seek out to work with towards the other direction. And if two of such types meet, then they have like an infinite resource, theoretically infinite resource for mutual
uh,
prosper.
no, no, because any intuition cannot operate without data, without sensory information. So what end up happening is that when two intuitive users come together, they lack sensory information to feed their intuition. And also, the way I see it is that this is just me. I see that yes, NE will seek NI, right? But an NE user does not need to seek that within another individual. He can just develop his own NI
But
throughout
that's
his
exactly what I
use
was
of
talking
NE.
about. It's exactly what I was talking about yesterday with Eric. He complained that that he doesn't have enough NI, and I've said that he should find a person that is NI dominant instead of trying to, in a way, develop NI, because that's counterproductive. That's why people have jobs. That's why we as people have specialization in a sort, because we cannot do all of the things at once. We need other people to fill in the gaps for us so we can work with our